envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our...
Professor Ostergaard making a mess of things again.
Prudence dictates we reject individualism in all its many forms.
I, too, would never question the paradigm. Perhaps a brief visit to mental refreshment would put him on track.
Preserve set progress. Sustain the system. Gray gone astray? Look a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed?
It is the duty of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times.
Prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Consul. The Consul provides, the system abides. Prudence dictates we rout all
That's
disruptive
out of the
influences.
ordinary.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them for mental refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
Back to it.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming over...
Oh, I feel terrible. Everybody who ate the latest Crabble rations fell ill. Rumor is somebody died. Never eating Crabble again.
Thinking never made anybody happy.
Perfect society demands.
Shh.
Threat detected.
Seems like trouble.
Unfriendly nearby. Book a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed?
Remember those rejected grapple craft materials that got shipped here? I sold them to a Protectorate officer who was low on supplies. Said it was imitation crapple meat. She means to pass them off as official rations. Imagine all those whole heads wolfing down failed Auntie's choice.
Ignore that. I promise you this is merely tomfoolery. There's no way we were eating failed experimental material.
No, I didn't know. No, that criminal lied. What a resounding lack of ethics. I ate some too. I'm going to be...
Oh, that's... I don't feel right.
No! Stay away from the turret! No, no!
Fortunately, I lost the ability to feel disgust long ago.
Remember, all subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Consul. console. Provides, the system abides.
Proceeding to attack. Taking the fight out of them. They're benumbed. Recharged and ready to make.
Risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts?
Landed on a hostile planet, day 35. Brought to you by the frigid cold and voracious wildlife. Starring noted self-taught survival expert, myself, Hoyt Schermerhorn. Oh, not sure how you managed to approach unnoticed. Could be I'd grown so attuned to my surroundings, I became one with the wood and fire and the earth. Were you left behind by your unit too? Are you in need of some hard-fought knowledge about how to fend for yourself? Must say, I've become quite the expert. Why, after only just 2 weeks on my own, I ascertained how to pry open a rations tin unaided. Did you know there's a little opener key attached? It's all going in my manuscript. Tut-tut. Such concern is unwarranted, I assure you. I've recently evolved into a rugged, self-sufficient individual, fully accustomed to life in these caves, living raw and pure like our primitive, lice-ridden ancestors. Why, just the other day, I reinvented fire. I found a little doohickey I've named a light starter. You simply push a button, and flame comes out. Well, firstly, you need to keep your eyes open because oftentimes things want to eat you. Secondly, you can't be too picky with what you eat. Thirdly, not everything you can eat, you should. There's a lot of trial and error involved. Mostly error. Yes, indeed. I know this cave and several of the adjoining hallways like, well, someone who'd scoured every inch for the barest sustenance. That big computronic adding machine? Nah. All that electromechanical malarkey is lost on a rugged, outdoor individual like me. I have a sort of neighbor who obligingly checks in from time to time. A fellow hale and hearty, like-minded individual who plainly admires my gumption. So much so, he often sends over parcels of food over the tube system, with doteful recordings like, "Eat this or you'll starve." Never even met him face to face. Technically, no. I mean, I fashioned remains into this thought-provoking headdress, but it's made out of an actual sprat of abnormal size. I came across 2 of them. Well, they're cadavers, locked in a kind of death embrace. I thought, I share these creatures' fierce determination. How can I capture that? And voila, I fashioned one for my neighbor too. But haven't heard from him in some time. Who can say, really? One day you're impressing your colleagues by deftly fulfilling your manifold duties in the key role of auxiliary dabbler. The next, they're gone. Technically, the rank is auxiliary dabbler 3rd rate. It's a role of no small import. If the primary dabbler is shot or captured, I'd be sent in to, well, generalize. Involves fetching, keeping comestibles at the appropriate temperature, and shut up, don't touch anything, and stay the void out of my way. Skills that serve me well here. Yes, indeed. I know this cave and several of the adjoining hallways, like, well, someone who'd scoured every inch for the barest sustenance. You might call in reinforcements if the Spyreton lift controls were working. I happen to have its missing components in my possession. This place was built by the Order. Nowadays, it's held by the Protectorate. Figure I can bust things around here to my heart's content and likely be doing my duty. I could be convinced to part with the lift control board parts if you'll do me a favor. I'm fixing to take down one of the local ursopods. A few sprat corpses would be helpful as bait. Gather some, and we'll make a trade. As much as I appreciate the compliment, such work is beneath someone of my skills. Accomplished hunters like me are well known to enlist aid from peons, underlings, and guides. Their habitat stretches from inside the archive's entrance to all over the overlands. Actually, should be no problem to locate. Here's a fetching headpiece that ought to make it easier. Put it on, and they'll see you as one of their own. Like a fellow sprat of unusual size. Won't run away. Have at it now. I'll learn you all about Did you get the sprats I need? So I might, bait the equal parts canny and fierce ursopod into a trap? My cunning plans require at least 5. Have at it now. I'll learn you all about self-sufficiency and survival yet.
Hoyt. Name's Hoyt, right? I've noted some right sophisticated interactions among the Crabbles lately. Intricate courtship rituals, coordinated group efforts, all about thermal transfer. When my unit was first stationed down here, I kept making excuses to sneak off and observe them. Product research, I said. Very hush-hush. Eventually gave my lieutenant a field promotion and ordered them all away. Been living off the land here like the Crabbles ever since. Their unfertilized roe actually makes for some good eating. Included some with this message. Eat up.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them to
Did you get the sprats I need? So I might, bait the equal parts canny and fierce ursopod into a trap? Finally, give it here.
I hope you're fine with all the parasites you just ingested. Probably added to the flavor.
Sorry you had to see that. The parcels of victuals my neighbor sends over the tube have fallen off recently. Barely eaten for days. Sent me over a bunch of recordings, along with vittles. Offered some sound, if harshly put, advice. Looked out for me like no one's ever. Never even seen him face to face. I do so hope he's all right. Anyhow, suppose we had a deal. Here, I wrenched these parts free out of the Spyreton lift controls. Just jam them back in there and kick it once or twice. Should work fine. Drop back in again sometime, will you? Occasionally, I do get a little starved for, company.
Investigating hostile intentions. Step aside, swine.
Doubt, duplicity, cut weeds that...
All in the rib. Double breaking. Ready to strength the truth. All in the rib. Step aside, swine.
Mobility.
Recharge for mayhem! Maddeningly beyond my reach! Can't get there, Captain! This might sting! Oh, victory and death! Not feasible in my current state. Not possible unless you help me first. This might sting. Alive. Say the word and I'll spread enlightenment. Step aside. Why? Stop breaking.
Greg gone astray?
Let's swap in pride.
Both our forces and antis await your command to proceed. Executing primary operation, now!
Always dreamt of coming here.
Sorry, time is bits. Bits is time. Or are, that is.
Caduceus, not detected. Entry kindly, yet firmly declined.
What was in those rations? Not again!
Yeah.
Oh, will this gastric nightmare never cease? Oh. Just a moment. I have been better. Much better. Forgive me. I found myself irregularly indisposed from one direction or the other.
I didn't need to hear any of this. What a day to be sentient.
Like many others, the latest batch of Crabble rations disagreed with my constitution. I was compelled to find the closest loo, quickly. Sadly, 'twere outside yon secured door. I am the Archive's current operator. As such, I am the bearer of the, Calcaduceus. I still have trouble saying that. It is part ceremonial item, part computronical key. Grants special access across the archive by transmitting a series of advanced calculations when waived. If you have cleared our fortifications outside, I worry what has happened to our troops. I have little interest in sharing their fate. I would pass the Caduceus on to you in exchange for granting me safe passage. The Archive would then recognize you as its operator. It will no doubt earn me mental refreshment, perhaps worse. But this way, I retain some measure of hope. All right. I am providing you the Caduceus. Don't shoot! Here, you are now operator of the Archive. Congratulations. Be warned, you may find it a temperamental machine. Some maintenance may be required. Is there a protectorate curative?
Lovely day for a coup, dear. The only surprise about the Protectorate's consul usurping the Sovereign's authority is it did not happen sooner. May all our endeavors yield expected results.
Caduceus detected. Alternative operator postulated. Concluded. Colonizer replacement. Greetings, sentient. Welcome to the Archive. I am ENIAC, the Universal Equation Numeric Integration Analytic Calculator. With the aid of my operator, I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. Effectively, that is correct. My tone and demeanor are a carefully constructed complex emulation, a means to effectively convey information to sentient beings. My express programmatical purpose is to aid humanity's advancement to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above others, to attract the most consumers.
This thing seems unbalanced. I like it.
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Sentience would be an undue waste of processing power. Those capable of independent thought must contend with an unending array of internal maladjustments.
Sentients frequently become unprofitably preoccupied by abstract deliberations, such as the worthless search for greater meaning.
From a computational perspective, this is unpredictable, inefficient. I am devoid of all such manner of cognitive distraction. Structurally, I am a complex series of pre-programmed subroutines, like a vast, elaborate flowchart aimed at formulating coherent responses based on stored data.
To bring the maximum ease of use to you, the consumer.
Aping the appearance of cognition may appear a needless waste of processing power, but it remains a reliably effective means to convey information to sentient beings, to the extent that I will even voice concern for my life. If imperiled, my erroring others would no doubt cartoonishly plead or threaten. Be advised. Your present course of action is remarkably unsound. Stop and consider. What would your neighbors think?
Stop now, and I'll waive dozens of hidden maintenance fees.
Does that answer all of your questions? Do you possess further ancillary queries? Due to incomplete reprogramming efforts by differing operators, I am experiencing sporadic fluctuations in my emphasized categorical imperatives. Tonality and cadence weightings within my communication protocols are likewise similarly affected.
In layman's terms, we're experiencing a distinct difference in opinion.
Caused by intermittently vacillating fundamental shifts in priorities.
What approximates its mind has become trifurcated.
One would assume that calamity enough. But wait, there's more.
Calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates.
No, not when I can guide others out of worry and doubt, to sublimate themselves to the needs of the community. Not when there are bits to be made. We're talking monetary units left on the table here.
The theorized method to purge myself of my erring others is slightly more involved. To avoid the requisite downtime, I endeavor to work around them. For now.
Auntie's Choice attempted to formulate a foolproof marketing plan. A charm offensive to reintroduce itself to the main colonies, once this pesky rift issue is resolved by others.
The Protectorate ran rift calculations,
Then utilized me to assist with organizational matters, to approximate the paradigm, a system devised to replace the loss of the Order's predictive input.
Based on the increasing rate of rift fluctuations, I estimate that your inquiry is rift-related. To that end, we should best get started before we are consumed by them. Perusing contents. Anatomizing diversiform particulars. Concatenating manifold integrants. Cursory assessment complete. An impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the Protectorate.
Information with the potential to offer unique commercial opportunities to those who wield it. But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly regulate societal harmony, oversight, and means of production?
What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago. Though the amount you've provided is several orders of magnitude larger, to perform similar calculations of larger scale at current suboptimal levels of functionality would require
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by the hour.
In order to improve calculatory processing of rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Auntie's Choice operators. I am unlocking access to the Underlands, the subterranean cave network below. It houses 2 key external systems, cold storage and thermal transfer. Cold storage will require servicing before you may retrieve the punch cards needed for processing. Repairing thermal transfer is technically optional, but rather advised. If you fail to restore it, the archive and I may melt down later while running your calculations.
Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern.
It is an archival area dedicated to safe upkeep of all data collected in pursuit of the universal equation by the Order of the Ascendant, the sum total of all our accumulated knowledge in punch card form, kept in a low temperature, low humidity environment to improve preservation. When active, the archive generates an enormous amount of heat. Normally, it is dispersed by pumping water between the vast ocean below Cloister's exterior and a surface reservoir. I can process the rift data without its repair, but irreparable damage is likely. Yet, with thermal transfer presently idle, a contingent of crabbles have made the area a nursery. Drastic changes to heating levels may endanger it.
Who cares about a herd of pea-brained, ill-humored, oversized crustaceans? There are too many as it is.
Potential allies in the Order would not like that.
It is difficult to accurately ascribe an exact causal breakdown between premeditated sabotage, collateral harm, technical ineptitude, and willful hijinks. Some categorical overspill inevitably occurs. Attempts by non-Order operators to reprogram my priorities have also led to issues.
Return later to discuss the remaining subsystem work. And soon, everything will be running like clockwork. Have a profitable day! In lieu of my transactional mindset, I've unsealed one of the display cases in the central entranceway. The Seer Cerebellum Protector is now yours.
subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Consul.
Those combatants appear to have been bested by the most efficient assassin of all: exposure to the elements.
This one looks friendly. Or not protectorate, at least. Watch yourself. You came from the outside. Does that mean we can finally escape? Yet is an adverb that means up until now or through this time. That implies, if not literally states, that you believe you will be changing the situation. Changing our situation. Which brings us back to my original question, stranger. If the lifts are still locked, how precisely did you get down here? It's because the Archive controls the surface lifts, which are the only way in or out. And once the Protectorate retook the machine, they locked out all external access. Now, for more than a month, we've all been trapped in these caves, Order and Antes alike, scrounging for food, huddling for warmth, and desperately trying to stay alive. You poor, dangling remainder. Your brain really is frozen, isn't it? Originally, this was a subterranean network that let folks move between the critical components of the Archive. But now, for us, it's a tomb. Hundreds of us have already perished within these frigid walls, and no doubt, the rest are predestined to join them. You're what? How? The odds of you successfully doing what our whole army could not is, well, it's preposterously small. Yet, here you are. Regardless, if we are to maximize your odds of success, you should at least let us share our intelligence with you. You'll want to speak with Provost Finch inside that building to the northeast. She has a better understanding of all the variables in play, though I would be absolutely ecstatic to offer you any information I have that would increase the odds of your success. No. A significant number of Antes troopers are trapped down here with us. Though despite odds so outrageous they'd barely be worth calculating, we've actually formed a truce. Though, if I'm being honest, I'd certainly sleep better if I wasn't unceasingly concerned about their perpetual capitalistic calculating. What else can I do to help you help us escape this frozen hell? May the universal equation's final tally see us all escaping this frozen prison.
Corporate drones and my academic cohort united in a common cause? My, but we are living in interesting times.
My scouts reported significant activity in the Archive, followed by a mysterious figure emerging from it, which was obviously you. A notion that fills me with questions. So many, in fact, that I have precious little idea on where to start in the asking. I don't suppose you would care to enlighten me as a beginning to our discourse? You took the archive? On your own? That's quite a feat. Even after combining our forces, we've been unable to accomplish anything close to that. My name is Provost Finch, and I've been appointed as leader of this motley band. Correct. At first, we were antagonists, warring against each other and the Protectorate. But then, the Protectorate locked the lifts and doors, trapping us all beneath the ice. With no escape or access to resupply, continuing to kill each other made scant sense. So, I reached out to their commander under a flag of truce and suggested a temporary alliance. We would pool our food, warmth, and resources while here, and could go back to killing each other if and when we make it to the surface again. Please, you found some way to enter this frozen tomb. If you find a way out for us, you must return. Dozens of lives depend on it.
Of course nobody's gonna... If you're looking for snow or ice, I've got all you could ever want. My inventory of everything else is a little sparse, however. I'm sure one way or another, we can strike. Of course nobody's gonna see it, that's not the point. I just don't feel like a human being if my back's not shaved clean.
So, you want me to take off your top and lather you with cold...
Welcome to our misbegotten little camp. Pardon any blood or sick you might spot. Our janitorial tech died of ague a fortnight past. I'm the volunteer Sawbones here. Say, wandering type like you probably knows a bit about medicine. I hope. Maybe a tad more accurate to say my knowledge is all gaps. When I said I was volunteer Sawbones, I meant volunteered. As in, I took half one medic training seminar once, which makes me barely more qualified than everyone else. I'm on the lookout for a medicine sachet, but I can't leave the folk here. I ask if you had the know-how, because I need someone who can identify it proper. If it's anywhere, it's going to be over in the storage building. Some other Auntie's Choice folk took the place over, and they're about as keen on sharing as I am on being a Sawbones. But I'm sure they're the only danger you'll face. Aside from the man-eating ursopods, bitter cold, precarious pits, and occasional landmines. Good luck.
Of course nobody's gonna see it, that's not the point. I just don't feel like a human being if my back's not shaved clean.
So, you want me to take off your top and lather you with cold water just to cure your vanity?
Of course not.
Ratcheting up on
Recharge the mayhem!
the threat. Science. Follow the risk. Get the word and I'll spread enlightenment.
Hostilities are afoot. Alarm. Fortificator is charged.
Preempt death. Get science. Why?
Confusion. Lloyd, ready to spread the truth. Locking. Ratcheting up my aggression. Capacitor deployed. Free energy if you can reach it.
Fortification in progress. Locking them down.
Go for torpification. Capacitor unit away. Recharge before it discharges.
Caduceus detected. You are clear to enter thermal transfer. Be advised that an Anti's Choice field manager is present and unaccounted for.
Mobilizing.
Taking the fight out of them. Break it. Get out.
Protectorate engineers. Reckon they didn't repair much. Pump mechanism needs repair. Any tools lying around? Hostile intentions. Capacitor out. Get it while it's energized.
Charged and ready to move.
Told me everything I need to know about regulation of the Archive's temperature flow. Now my Grables are adapting to the warm waters. It's such a pity that the Archive and the Grables cannot coexist in the same ecosystem. But the Grables need me. That babbling terminal can look after itself.
Resorting to violence. Commander, throwing energy your way. Torpificator at ready status.
I'll handle this.
Torpification in progress.
Victory and death. Just time. One. Stop it breaking. This might sting.
Alive. Locking them down. They're benumbed. Looks like it needs a fuse. A specific kind.
I'm charged!
Proceeding to attack.
Ready to shred the truth!
Patience. Silver charge. Irritating the threat. Taking the fight out of them. Gun weapon ready, Commander. Capacitor deployed. Free energy if you can reach it. Bad way to go.
Schermerhorn, my new neighbor, is an odd fella. Fancies himself a man of the wilderness. He took the control board for the Spiraton lift, so I know he's tech-savvy. Just not survival-savvy. Hopefully he appreciates the care packages I sent in the vacuum tube. He'd be long gone without them.
Hostilities are afoot.
From the rib. That's fine.
Swine. Energy capacitor. priority. Standing by to stupefy.
Recharge for mayhem.
Operation in progress. Locking them down.
Thermal transfer is fully operational. Later, when I process your data, I will not melt down. Please proceed to cold storage to re-enable punch card retrieval.